His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq issues 2 royal decrees. His Highness, the Deputy Prime Minister for Defense Affairs, receives an invitation to attend the International Defense Exhibition in Abu Dhabi and discusses with Turkish Ambassador enhancing relations between both countries. And to enhance commercial fishing activities, Jawharat Al-Wusta vessel is launched to be the 3rd within the fleet of Oman Fisheries Wealth Development Company. Those were the headlines. Now for the news in detail. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq issued 2 royal decrees. Royal Decree number 10/2021 appointing Secretary General at the Ministry of Defense. Article 1 appoints Dr. Mohammed bin Nasser bin Ali Al-Za'abi as Secretary General at the Ministry of Defense with the rank of a minister. Article 2, this decree shall be published in the Official Gazette and comes into force from the date of its issue. Royal Decree number 11/2021 conducting military promotions and appointments. Article 1 promotes Rear Admiral Abdullah bin Khamis bin Abdullah Raisi to Lieutenant General and appoints him as Chief of Staff of Sultan's Armed Forces. Article 2 promotes Air Commodore Khamis bin Hamad bin Sultan Al-Ghafri to the rank of Air Vice Marshal and appoints him as Commander of Royal Air Force of Oman. Article 3 promotes Commodore Saif bin Nasser bin Muhsin Al-Rahbi to the rank of Rear Admiral and appoints him as Commander of Royal Navy of Oman. Article 4 promotes Air Commodore Engineer Saleh bin Yahya bin Mas'ud Al-Maskari to the rank of Major General and appoints him as Commander of National Defense College. Article 5, this decree shall be published in the Official Gazette and come into force from the date of its issue. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq sent a cable of greetings to His Excellency Sadir Japarov, President of the Kyrgyz Republic, on him being elected as the new President of the Republic. His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq bin Taimur Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for Defense Affairs, received a written message from His Highness Sheikh Mohammed bin Rashid Al Maktoum, Vice President and Prime Minister of the United Arab Emirates, ruler of Dubai, and the Minister of Defense of the UAE. The message includes His Highness's invitation to attend the 15th International Defense Exhibition and the Maritime Exhibition that will be held in Abu Dhabi next February. This came when His Highness received in his office today at Muaskar Al-Murtafa'a His Excellency Mohammed Sultan Al-Suwaidi, Ambassador of the United Arab Emirates accredited to the Sultanate. The bilateral relations between the 2 brotherly countries were reviewed and a number of matters of common concern were discussed. His Highness Sayyid Shihab bin Tariq bin Taimur Al Saeed, Deputy Prime Minister for Defense Affairs, received this morning in his office at Muaskar Al-Murtafa'a Her Excellency Aisha Susin Olsuner, Ambassador of the Republic of Turkey accredited to the Sultanate. During the meeting, the good relations between the 2 friendly countries were reviewed and points of views on matters of common interests were exchanged. The Sultanate participated today in the virtual meeting of the 148th Executive Council session of the World Health Organization, which began today and lasts for 9 days. The Sultanate was represented in the meeting by His Excellency Dr. Ahmed bin Mohammed Al-Saeedi, Minister of Health and First Deputy of the Executive Council of the World Health Organization. In his opening speech, His Excellency praised the efforts of the World Health Organization in fighting the epidemic on behalf of the countries of the Middle East region and the comprehensive draft of the Global Plan of Action on Patient Safety 2021-2030. His Excellency affirmed that patient safety was the main focus of preparedness and response to health emergencies in the Sultanate. During the meeting, the committee approved a regional strategy to improve access to medicines and vaccines and a strategic framework to prevent emerging infectious diseases. The Ministry of Health announced that the total number of COVID-19 cases registered in the Sultanate reached 132,011, while the total number of deaths reached 1,514. The total recovered cases reached 124,213, which is 94.1% of the total recovery rate. The ministry indicated that the total number of inpatients during the 24 hours reached 72, of which 21 are in intensive care units. Medical laboratory technologists and clinical laboratory scientists at the primary healthcare institutions work to analyze a variety of biological specimens in spite of challenges of COVID-19. More details in the following report.
The public health care laboratory services at the Ministry of Health polyclinics throughout the Sultanate, which are considered to be the first responders for a mass crisis of COVID-19, continues to provide diagnostic investigation services to the public as per physicians' diagnostic test request and based on the specific diagnostic test available at these polyclinics.
It is well known that laboratory information enables physicians and other healthcare professionals to make appropriate evidence based on diagnostic or therapeutic decisions for patients, and we are very proud to be part of the team in meeting the goal of treating patients.
It's worth mentioning that a medical laboratory scientist, also known as medical technologist or clinical laboratory scientist, works to analyze a variety of biological specimens. They are responsible for performing scientific testing on samples and reporting results to physicians.
Laboratory service is one of the important components at the secondary healthcare institutes, where laboratory professionals provide a vital information to assist clinicians that affect quality of life for our patients.
The data they find plays an important role in identifying and treating diseases and other medical conditions. It's estimated 60 to 70% of all decisions regarding a patient's diagnosis, treatment, hospital admission and discharge are based on the result of the test medical laboratory scientists perform.
The secondary care healthcare services at Boucher Polyclinic Lab provides more advanced investigation for the public, where specialized clinical sections such as hematology, where INR test is performed for patients on warfarin. There is other investigation which are done in other sections like biochemistry, hematology, microbiology and serology. In addition, we also receive some other samples from primary health care centers. It is also mentioned that other tests which are ordered by consultant are referred to other tertiary hospitals like Royal, Hawla, Nahda, and Central Public Health Labs.
Primary health care is the gate to health care and captures the vast majority of the population, making it an ideal setting for COVID-19 first line of defense that provides curative, preventive, health promotion and rehabilitative services. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubi'i, Sultanate of Oman Television, Muscat.
The Omani National Commission for Education, Culture and Science, in coordination with the UNESCO Regional Office in Doha, organized a virtual seminar on underwater cultural heritage, reality and aspirations. The seminar aims to introduce the underwater cultural heritage, the Convention for the Preservation of this heritage, which the Sultanate joined in 2019. Underwater cultural heritage faces a range of threats that may endanger and extinguish it. UNESCO adopted the Convention on the Protection of Underwater Cultural Heritage in the year 2001, which sets the ethical principles for the process of protecting the underwater heritage and cooperation between countries, as well as the methodological rules related to it to address and conduct relevant research. Still to come in our news bulletin. With the aim to unite the works of the teachers, administrators and students, an educational twinning initiative is launched between two schools in South Batna. Welcome back to the news from the Sultanate of Oman Television. Al Wusta Fisheries Industries Company, affiliated to the Omani Company for Fisheries Wealth Development, celebrates the joining of a new vessel to its fleet, Jawharat Al Wusta, bringing its number to 3 vessels for commercial fishing with a total production capacity of 70,000 tons annually of small pelagics. The company will invest the ship to operate in the seas outside the traditional fishing areas in accordance with the approved environmental and commercial standards, which will contribute to raising fishing production in the Sultanate and support economic diversification and enhance the level of competitiveness of Omani fish products in global markets. The vessel will also be operated as first floating training center at the Sultanate's level. His Excellency Dr. Saud bin Hamoud Al-Habsi, Minister of Agriculture, Fisheries and Water Resources, stressed that the ministry renewed the system of monitoring the commercial fishing fleet. He added that soon an agreement will be signed to allocate areas for fishing in the seas of the Sultanate. His Excellency also said that there are programs to enhance traditional fishing. He also added that a number of violations were observed, whether regarding traditional, commercial or coastal fishing activities, and they were dealt with according to the legal procedures adopted by the Sultanate. With the aim to unite the works, the teachers, the administrators and students, an educational twinning initiative is launched between Barakat and Nafisa schools in the Governorate of South Al-Batina. More in the following report.
In Barka, South Al-Batina, 2 educational institutions signed a memorandum of cooperation on twin school project. The signing ceremony took place this morning in the presence of the Director General of Education, South Al-Batina, together with a leading team of teachers of 2 schools. Al-Imam Barakat bin Muhammad for Boys School, grade 10 to 12, and Nafisa bint Umayya Girls School, grade 9 to 12. This project of twinning school is recognized for its twinning activities and involvement, commitment and dedication to the whole school approach, where teams of teachers and school leaders work together.
I believe it's a good experience to share their activities for the benefits of the schools and the community around the schools, and especially the students themselves and the teachers. I believe this is an initiative between a boys' school and girls' school. It's expand the knowledge of the 2 schools, between the 2 schools, and I really congratulate the administrative of the 2 schools for this initiative.
Collaboration among teachers and among students will be strong and effective, and twinning project would benefit from more practice.
The twinning between Barakat and Nafisa School aims to let students, teachers and school administrations to exchange their ideas, their thoughts in one project. This, to be quite honest, the first kind or the first project in the area in which we join the work, the thoughts and the project of students in both schools, and we hope the experience will be spread into other areas in the Sultanate of Oman.
This initiative is something great. To see 2 schools working as one community is really something great. The purpose of this initiative is to develop teachers professionally, as well as to develop the school performance. So it focuses on 2 main majors, which are the teachers' professional development and the school performance.
We're very happy about this project. I find it a great opportunity for us as students to improve our skills and our knowledge in many different ways.
This project is going to help us to improve our skills and knowledge in different fields, which can reflect in our grades, which will help us in our higher education studies, and in turn will become good ambassador of our country, Oman.
The team is determined to put all efforts that supports this collaborative initiative, as they fully believe that it will provide learning community that respect the diversity of opinions, encourages experimentation and celebrates success of teachers, students and all other staff. This joint work between the teachers of Nafisa and Imam Barakat will indeed benefit the students as well as teachers themselves. Abdullah bin Ahmed al-Rubai, Sultanate of Oman Television, Barka.
Israeli authorities advanced plans to build an additional 780 homes in West Bank settlements in a last-minute surge of approvals before the friendly Trump administration leaves office later this week. The anti-settlement monitoring group Peace Now said that over 90% of the homes lay deep inside the West Bank, which the Palestinians seek as the heartland of a future independent state, and over 200 homes were located in authorized outposts that the government had decided to legalize. Israel has stepped up settlement construction during President Donald Trump's term. President-elect Joe Biden is expected to return to the traditional U.S. position of opposing settlements, setting the stage for a possible clash with Netanyahu. The head of the World Health Organization said today it's not right that younger, healthier adults in rich countries get vaccinated against COVID-19 before older people in poorer countries. Director General Tedros Adhanom Ghebreyesus kicked off WHO's week-long executive board meeting virtually from its headquarters in Geneva today by lamenting that a mere 25 vaccine doses have been provided in a single poor country, while over 39 million doses have been administered in nearly 50 richer nations. Tedros, an Ethiopian nonetheless, hailed the scientific achievement behind rolling out vaccines less than a year after the pandemic erupted in China, where a WHO-backed team has now been deployed to look into origins of the coronavirus. Tedros again criticized bilateral deals between them and countries that can deplete the effectiveness of the WHO-backed COVAX facility that aims to get the vaccines to all countries, whether rich or poor, based on need, and went further to raise the issue of profits. About 25,000 members of the National Guard are streaming into Washington from across the country, at least 2.5 times the number of for previous inaugurals. The Nebraska Air National Guard personnel boarded a plane in Lincoln, bound for Washington tomorrow. The first Guard troops began deploying to D.C. more than a week ago following the insurrection at the U.S. Capitol, as House and Senate members were certifying President-elect Joe Biden's win. The Capitol assault left 5 people dead, including a Capitol police officer and a woman shot by police as she climbed through a window in a door near the House chamber. Extreme cold and snow have hit much of Europe, with freezing temperatures cracking railroad tracks in Poland and snow blanketing most of the Turkish city of Istanbul. Temperatures dropped to minus 28 degrees Celsius in some areas of Poland overnight, the coldest night in 11 years. Meanwhile, snow blanketed most of the Turkish city of Istanbul today, bringing traffic to a halt in some areas. Cars were seen stalled and skidding on the roads as those who were out driving were caught unprepared. The flurries are forecast to continue throughout the day. An official said that snow that was expected in Istanbul arrived today, and it's good that it arrived because the level of water in reservoirs will increase. This is the Sultanate of Oman Television. Before we end tonight's bulletin, here are the main headlines once again. His Majesty Sultan Haytham bin Tariq issues 2 royal decrees. His Highness the Deputy Prime Minister for Defense Affairs receives an invitation to attend the International Defense Exhibition in Abu Dhabi and discusses with Turkish Ambassador enhancing relations between both countries. And to enhance commercial fishing activities, Jawharat Al-Wusta vessel is launched to be the 3rd within the fleet of Oman Fisheries Wealth Development Company. With that, we come to the end of tonight's news bulletin. From all of us here at the newsroom and the studios, it's good night.